my family, friends also in my head because they were all watching and I was a little bit worried about them. So I tried to like calm the situation down in a way. I mean, after I was lying there, my leg was broken. I still like.
Download the AllStar app. Make your picks for UFC fights, challenge your friends, level up and win prizes. Link in description. Get it now. Your Octagon debut, man, April 29th in Slovakia. How do you feel about getting signed to the promotion?
First of all, I'm really happy to be back in the cage, and then especially fighting for Octagon. Octagon has become like really big in the past couple of years. It's been amazing to see their shows, to see their promotion, and yeah, I'm really happy to fight on that stage.
You're fighting one of the featherweight contenders as well, right into the deep end against Roman. How do you feel about your opponent and the fighting style that he has?
Well, I mean, I like the challenge. I like to go out there to compete with the guys. So I think it's a good challenge. He's a really good guy. He's quite young, but still he's experienced. He has a kickboxing based style. I'd say dangerous on the feet, but yeah, I have all the weapons to beat him.
Is it common for fighters in Europe to go pro really young?
I think it's changing. I think the mentality changed to uh, do more amateur fights because before there were not so many fights. So most of the guys they had experience in other combat sports and then turned directly pro, which was the case for me. I don't know how it was in his case, but yeah, I think it's changing that like the people try to gain more experience and then turn pro. But yeah.
Do you think it's good though to have so many fights at such a young age? Because this is a sport that you take damage.
That's what I wanted to say. That's what I want to say. I mean, it always depends how much damage you're taking in your fights. I mean, you can have a clean fighting style, not getting hit a lot, or you are into brawls. And we all know it's a full contact sport. It's not healthy all the time. So, yeah, I don't know. It depends on the damage, but better not get hit.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. His last fight, I believe he was on a win streak. Then in his last fight, he lost against Magomed Kadimagomedov. Did you get to see that fight, and what do you think of the performance?
I watched the fight. I felt like his opponent was a pretty good wrestler, pretty solid, pretty strong, and it seemed like he was struggling with it. I don't know how much he uh, wrestled after, or if it was just yeah. I don't know. Um, I for sure watched the fight. I also watched the other fights. It's always good to get a feeling for your opponent to make a good game plan. So
Definitely, and let's get into your record and your last fight. Ahead of your last fight, you had a long winning streak, and in that NFC title fight, the first round, you were pretty dominant. I mean, on the feet, you were doing really well. You took him to the ground at the end of the round. You almost had to choke. How do you feel about your performance in that first round?
um, I like I liked it. I was happy about it. Still, I'm never satisfied. Like I try to always see holes. Try to always improve. So there's always stuff I see where I'm like, no, this doesn't look good, or I want to improve that. And still, I felt pretty strong. I felt pretty good. And when I went out there in the for the second round, I was like really hyped, really like confident to finish the fight actually. But then it came a little bit yeah the other way. But I mean, you never can plan stuff like this. Um, but still, I feel like even in the first round, I saw some stuff on which I was like I was trying to improve. Like I had 2 years, nearly 2 years to improve. Still, I mean, I wasn't able to train all the time, but also giving classes and like just being around like the MMA scene and watching fights and um, learning also on a theoretical uh, way helped me a lot, I would say.
He hit you with a spinning back fist. That's the only bad part I saw, you know what I mean, for
Yeah,
me
yeah.
in that first round. How rocked were you? Were you rocked at that moment?
Mm, I mean, obviously he set me down, but I was like straight after I stood up, I was like 100% again, and I felt really good because I was not like panicking. I was just like, okay, just follow, continue, and that was something actually I was happy about because I think like in previous fights, maybe because of lack of experience or whatever, uh, I felt like, okay, shit, now I need to prove my point or be more aggressive. But in that case, I felt like, okay, I just do my stuff, continue, and stay like I was, like stay confident. Just maybe see if there's coming another back fist. But yeah,
Yeah, it seemed like that was probably like the only strike that he landed clean on you was
yeah.
that one, you know what I mean, in the whole round, it's pretty insane. But yeah, you got right back up. You dominated the rest of the round. The second round comes and you broke your leg. What was going through your mind inside the cage, when you were laying there? What was in your head at that moment?
I mean, it's difficult to say. So many emotions, adrenaline. Um, I was just like, sorry to say, but like fucked up to uh, just. I was thinking about like how long will it take when I'll be back. That was crossing my mind, and also actually, to be honest, I had like my family, friends also in my head because they were all watching, and I was a little bit worried about them. So I tried to like calm the situation down in a way. I mean, after I was lying there, my leg was broken. I still like talked to my opponent, was like everything will be good, blah blah blah. So yeah, tried to calm the situation. And I knew it right away that it was like completely broken because I felt it, and then I also like I remember that I knew I shouldn't watch my leg because if I watch it, maybe I will feel the pain even more or start panicking. So I just didn't watch like down and was just like trying to communicate. Was a crazy situation, but I'm really happy that like this is the past and I'm able to kick to do everything again, and yeah, it feels amazing. Took quite a time, but still, it's really good.
Did you feel anything in your leg? Like, did your legs ever hurt in the past before? Anything like that?
No, actually, there was nothing special.
Hmm.
It was just I don't know what was the why it happened. Maybe there was a fracture before. We can't tell. Like
Mhm.
afterwards, it's difficult to tell. But yeah, I did like I never had any problem like this before. So
Yeah, it's just bad luck. You know what I mean? I guess that's what it is. It's just
yeah,
bad luck, and we've seen it in the sport before. And
yeah.
we've
I mean,
seen fighters
especially
come
with the
back.
calf kicks and everything. I mean,
Yeah,
I think 1 month before was Chris Whiteman, and then the other month was Conor McGregor, and that was
yeah,
just in between. And yeah,
it's insane. What were the doctors telling you? When you were getting your leg fixed, did they tell you, you'll be back in a certain amount of time? Did they tell you you should never fight again? What were they telling you?
well, that's the problem. You talk with one doctor, then you talk to another, and they're always telling you different stuff. So, uh, one was telling me 6 months, one was telling me 1.5 years. So it was like always different. And then to grow together, like the bones, I think they didn't do it quite good. The operation. They also chose a method which takes longer, and yeah, like the healing process took way longer than expected. And then the doctors were always like, we don't even know if it's healing back together or if we have to do another operation. So the first, I don't know, like the first year, I was always going to the doctor in hopes of they're telling me it grew back together, but it didn't. And then they were telling me, okay, probably we need to do another operation. And then, like, on the last appointment, on the last day, you could say, with all the therapy I could get and whatever, it healed back again. And then they were able, after some month later, they were able to take like the metal out. But it was just like emotional up and down, because always expecting the good news and then getting the bad news. And yeah.
How many months did it take for you to get back to kicking?
Well, to kicking, um like while I had the metal inside, I was kicking, but like not full power. And then last October they took out the metal, and then quite fast afterwards I started kicking. So it took like nearly 1.5 years actually. But meanwhile, I mean, I was still trying to improve my boxing, to do other stuff I was able to. So yeah, I tried to use the time as good as possible.
So the boxing, man, if you could just focus on that, that means like, the movement, like how have you developed? Like what have you developed in your boxing, in your striking overall?
Well, just like all the details I was also talking about before for the first round, there's always like stuff to level up. And I feel stronger. My punch is getting like harder, more explosive. Movement is getting better. And yeah, I really feel good. I was the whole February I was in Miami,
Mhm.
training there at Killcliff FC, which was really nice. And also there I felt like really good, really able to compete with the guys also there in the States. And yeah, felt really confident and felt like, okay, I mean, it happened with the leg, but maybe who knows why it happened, or for what it was. But now I'm able to be back in the cage and to fight again, and to like, yeah, to show my skills even more improved.
Definitely. Yeah, you spent a month in Florida at Killcliff.
Yes.
How was that? Who did you get to work with down there?
Well, I was pretty hyped because I've never been in the States before, and I never trained with so many good UFC, Bellator guys. And yeah, the mat is just full of good guys, and really good atmosphere from like the head coach there, Henry Hooft, really good guy, and all the other coaches. Also, special thanks to Michael Johnson. I was training with him a lot, and he welcomed me like really good. He's a good friend. And yeah, for example, I trained with him, but also couple other UFC guys. For example, Evan Elder, who just
Mhm.
had fight of the night, I think 1 month ago, 2 months ago.
Yeah,
Really good guy. And yeah, the guys who are there, like everybody in my weight class, we had some good rounds, some fun. And yeah, it feels good just to check your level, or to be able to see, because in Germany, or where we are training, like there are always good people, um, and the level is high. But there on the mats, there are just like 40 guys, full pro, going at it, and
Mhm.
like the spirit is different. And yeah, I would say that helped me a lot and took me on another level.
Yeah, it's always great to go out and test, your skills
Yeah,
against,
definitely.
different level, different gyms, different fighters, different weight classes, right? It's always going to be beneficial. Who are your main coaches and your teammates that are helping you in this training camp, preparing you for Octagon?
So I'm training in two teams, in two gyms. I'm training in Spitfire Gym Berlin, and Sayato Performance Gym, both based in Berlin. There is my head coach Amir Taremisat, and there is, for example, in Spitfire, Gabriel Rainho, who is my grappling coach. Also on Spitfire, there's Daniel Abdul, who's a Brazilian guy who was training with I forgot. some good UFC guys from Brazil.
Yeah,
But yeah, they're like the trainers, and um, eh, there's some good guys like yeah, guys who fought also in Octagon, guys who were fighting around the world, and yeah, I'm trying to get the best out of the two teams. Yeah.
that's great. That's great. And you know, it's a comeback story, man. Everybody loves a comeback story. How do you want to perform in your return to the cage?
Well, I I just want to have like the possibility again, and I'll have it next week, to show my skills, to be able to go out there, have fun, to show my opponent that I'm the better man in the cage. And however, but I'll give my best, and I'll try as good as possible to
Mhm.
get the win, and let's see how. But yeah, I'll get all the skills to do so.
Well, you have 100% finishing rate, so you have something in you. Like you know how to end the fight. You know,
Yeah.
not go to the judges. It's a special thing some fighters have. Not all of them have that.
Yeah, I don't know. Like once I see the finish, or once I feel like I can end the fight,
Mhm.
yeah, I like I always try to go for it, and yeah, so far it worked. Let's see.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. And you know, if you go in there and beat Roman, you know, you pretty much put yourself in the title picture possibly for Octagon. Is that something you expect to do?
Well, I go step by step.
Mhm.
First, I focus on this fight, and then let's talk about it afterwards. But I'm looking forward to put on a really nice performance next Saturday, and then let's see what happens afterwards.
All right. April 29th, Octagon 42. Go in the
Yes,
descriptions, download the AllStar app. Everybody, if you're in Slovakia, go check it out. Niko, thank you so much for the
thank you,
time and all the best, man, in your return. It's an incredible story, man. It's a long journey back.
thank you. I really appreciate it. Thanks a lot for your time, and thanks for all the support I'm getting. Thanks so much.